So we're going to start with this in service of Sonixhub. This new version is not immediately available to you. It will probably be showing up in July on your web apps. So for now we'll use the Sonixhub test. See it right here? You click on it. Wait a little bit for it to open up. And what's going to happen is you're going to use your alphanumeric user ID to log in. Then you're going to put in as your password the word password. When it opens up, you have the option to change the password. We recommend that you use US as your password. So you use your alphanumeric ID given by CHS, and then you change your password to US. So let's wait a little bit for this to pop up. I will start. So I'm going to start with one of the options that we have, which is training 1. You'll see me put in password. I'll click here. And voila. Okay, we have this. So this is the screen. We're on this setting where it's just showing a long list of what's been done. You have the option of narrowing your search to, for example, instead of all types, you can change it to just the abdomen, and you'll see it's a smaller number of exams. Let's go back to all, and this, what's displayed is a lot greater. You can also narrow down your search to particular operators. If you want it to be to Andrew Johnson or Angela Johnson, you could click there and you can get only those folks what they have done. So that's one of the options, and then you can just click here and you'll see the exam that's of interest. Notice we move from this particular type of heading to this one where you have the listing of the exams, but the one that's highlighted also shows the images. Now you have these images here and you can expand the viewing by pulling on this side, or if you want you can expand it by pulling on this side, and this could magnify the view for you. You could then change to the other image if you would like. Look at the other image and then you can see the video that's playing. And here's a cool thing, you can stop the video, move it forward just a little bit so you can see that right ventricular free wall collapse, or see what's happening if there's a little vegetation on the tricuspid valve. And you can take those images if you need and slowly move back and forth to see if it's diastolic wall collapse occurring slowly by slowly. Okay. The other option is you can change the layout where it's on top of the other. So let's go back to this one, which I prefer. When you're looking at this particular image, there are a couple of options that you can do right afterwards. Let's go to another one. You can see here that when you go to this section here, you have the option to full size it, annotate, and you can put an arrow, place an arrow, move an arrow. You can point it to the yolk sac, move the arrow and point it to the vegetation, move the arrow and point it to the pericardial effusion. You can also annotate yolk sac, adjust what's inside there, and put anything that you seems appropriate for medical documentation. That probably isn't. You can change the color. Right click, you have the option to change the color. Change it right here and delete. Put backgrounds, look on, then get rid of it. So those are some of the options that you have. So those are some of the things you can do. There's also, besides full size, annotations, arrows, you have the settings. And if you don't like the image that you have, you can probably increase or decrease the brightness, increase or decrease the contrast. And if you realize that the original was good enough, you could just reset it. That's what you have. Now, there are a couple other things that you can do. You can go to the bottom. You can delete an image that sucks, for example, or it's just an image of the screen and it's not what you want, or it's not the best view of the perisplenic or Morrison's region. You can say that, how I like this exam and I'd like to export it and save it for a PowerPoint presentation. And you can click the ones that you find that you like and you can export them, and they will show up, and you can put it, like what I like to do, I put it in my ultrasound videos, and it will show up in the midst of all these others. It can be saved. The videos will be, I think, in AVI files or WMV files. We'll figure it out soon. You can unselect, clear all. So those are some of the things that you can do. You can tag an exam if it's of importance. You could split an exam. If you did a whole bunch of tests, you'd look at the person's for free fluid, you looked at the lungs, you looked at the heart, and you want to split it up into pulmonary exams, you want to split it up into a fast exam, you can click on these. Okay, and then you can split the exam, and you can dump it, since I picked those two, and dump it into biliary exams. And you can dump it there, and it'll pop up as another exam, taking things. You could also merge exams, where you can pull them together and say it's part of a rush protocol, where you did the abdomen for aorta, you looked at free fluid, you put it all together. So you have different options, and you can create and split things up or merge them accordingly. So we talked about the layouts that are optional. We talked about resizing. This icon here has to do with the worksheet. You can see there's a pen or pencil, so now you're putting in information. So let's click right there. You're putting in information on this particular patient, and here you see the worksheet. Hey, I don't like this layout, I prefer this one, let's do that. I highlighted that one, you've seen the images. Now you can look at the indications for the exam, you click accordingly, what views you used, what you saw, drop the menu for the interpretation, submit for QA, and there you have it. And then you can submit for QA, or as the attending, you could sign the exam that the resident did, and you could even email a report and send it from yourself to Tayal, Lewis, Weeks, new fellow. There we go. So those are some of the main items. And one last thing. This icon is sort of hard to figure out, but I think this is a filter. So you click on it, and then you can search for whatever you want, either by your last name to narrow things down, the resident's last name. You can look for the cardiac exam, and you put cardiac or trauma. You can change the search field. You can look at the range of dates, whether it's last month, because you're really not sure how long, and then you can put in cardiac. You can search, and you see things get limited to just this exam, and then you could do it. That's about it, one exam. If you wanted to search, and you wanted to search by trauma for the last 3 months, and you search, you'll get 4 exams. So that's the basic idea of what the Sonixhub 3 can do, at least from your user end. There are other things that we can do in the background, but for now this is an example of how Sonixhub could help you. There are a lot of changes to how it appears, but I think the functionality will be something that you'll enjoy. Okay, thank you for your time with this, and that's it for this brief in service.